G'day, everybody. I want to talk about why certain religion books say you are a sinner from the stories that they have. Because stories can have some truth, but they're Chinese whispers we all know about, right? And what we know and what we do are two different things, too, isn't it? And what we want to know and what we want to be blind to. All that kind of stuff. But when it comes to, I reckon, the next restart, it will happen because the sinners expect God to fix everything. So you know the story. Here we go with the story that you're the sinners. They killed Jesus, right? We'll go with that one. And they say that Jesus died to heal their sins, but that's not true, and there's no evidence that that was ever true. The only sins that would have got healed if they listened to Jesus collectively, but they didn't. And he didn't get enough followers, obviously, to stop the devil from coming in. Because you got the devil and you got God, yin and yang, good side. And they're allowed to have these times, these cycles that come around. Okay, because to find out things, you give people a little bit of time. You send videos, you give them a little bit of time because you have life and how long it's going to take them to usually do their job and to look at something. You give them extra time on that. You chuck them in extra time. And then when you go back, you can say to them, there's no excuses anymore. It's over. It's over. I've given you plenty of time. You had plenty of time. And now I can do this ripping, right? And that's what happens when God and the devil gets together at their cup of teas, at their moments they're allowed to. And they look down into the humans and they go, okay, now what's going on? Why are they sinning? Why are they having all these problems? Because they're allowing it. That's why. And God goes, well, we've sent them all this information. This is the funny part. You get on the internet, you'll find all the information. You'll find these humans in different spots all talking and got the answers. But nothing's happening. They've had the answers for a while now too. And they believe, the humans want to believe, the leaders, what they want to believe of the answers that these people get. So they go, we'll take some of that information and that one we'll just go put over there. We're just going to do that, right? And we're going to say this and that because we want to control. And if you want to control, then you're still the sinner. The sinners are still here, you see. And every 1,000 years, we'll say, they come and do a checkup to see what's going on. So every time we fail, so here's the story, every time we fail as a collective, so it's the most of us, we get judged just like voting for someone. Right? And they read all our minds, they can come down and go, let's download, let's see, find out, right? They're the almighty and that, right? They can do anything. Let's say they do this, right? And if I'm thinking this, that means they can easily be doing it. Because if you can think of it, that means it can manifest if you work on it. It's a possibility. Without thinking of it, there's nothing because you're not even thinking of it. Right? And so it's the same thing when it comes, if I'm thinking of it, then they're thinking something even better than that or a similar thing, you see. Right? And so they turn up and they look down and they go, well, look, they say they're sinners. They know they're sinners. And yet they want to be healed, but what are they waiting for? They're waiting for God. We keep hearing them holding their hands up, waiting and waiting. They're not getting the lesson, right? And if they forgive themselves and move on and do things right, then perhaps they will get forgiven and there'll be help again. If you look back in history, we have these amazing buildings that we don't know what happened. And we know that we've had some sort of spiritual or alien encounters, right? So why haven't we had that? Are we due for it? When was the last one? It's been a while, hasn't it? If you look back in history, you'll notice there's a rough pattern of timing when it happens too. So perhaps we did come from another place. Perhaps we're made in an image of another species, an alien. Right? Perhaps it's us, right? Way further advanced. They're already come, as we talk about, let's go to another planet. What happens if we've already gone to another planet and dump some humans there, and it's hard to get there every now and then. You can only get there every now and then because it's so far away, as I've talked about in previous clips, about certain times to travel, right? And they come and check up, and we're the experiment to find out how it would go in certain conditions. And that's a human thing that would experiment on ourselves. We do. Imagine we're one big experiment on the world to find out how we believe things and how we look up to things and how we started and why we were so dependent on something to rescue us all the time. When it's always up to yourself to rescue you see. And when you rescue yourself, what happens? Things become better in your life, doesn't it? Things visit. As I've talked about, if there was aliens out there, would they want to visit here? This world's not trustworthy. Right? Definitely to a world that's peaceful and got better technology. They wouldn't be able to mingle with us only on certain safety precautions, which would have to be kept secret, you see. And so the people will never get to know, because the people are the collective, you see. And if you don't get to know all the answers out there, and you want to know why they're not telling you, well, just look at yourselves collectively. Then you'll get your answer. So if they were aliens, it would be kept secret. It has to be, because yous would ruin it for us. It's like a loan place when they start giving out loans to crackheads and that. They end up shutting down because they end up getting into debt because all these crackheads just go in there to get a loan. One of those, definitely, if it's, we don't check up your history and all that. It's only a small loan, but then you have these crackheads go, oh yeah, quick, $100, quick. I know, I've heard them before. And go in there and just get it and not pay them back. They're already in debt. And then they screw it for everyone else. And that's why we had religion. That's why religion started, to show that if we did it right, why can't you do it like that? But then they don't show their point. Everything has stopped showing their point. They'd rather run off to their bubble. Okay, yeah, we'll do it in this bubble, but we're not really doing it. You see? So how can you have rules at your bubble, but not in the real world? And that confuses people. Because you would be saying, this is what you need to do, but in the real world, it fails. You can't be truthful. You can't be this. They'll backstab you. They'll do this. You can't say that this is God's rules when they've made a law. Simple as that. How do you stop that? Well, these groups are meant to step in. They're meant to always be around to step in, but they, over time, have stopped. And then over time, you hear them stepping in, and it's crazy how they do it. They become like the enemy because they've pulled out so much. You know how they say a quiet person ends up snapping? That's religious people. If you look back in history, they snap. But why couldn't they just keep things going? Why couldn't they just stand up for real and not stop? If you don't stop doing the right thing, they'll see it and do the right ways. Use their own rules at them and keep throwing at them. Make them look like an ass. You say we got freedom, and what's this? You say you got freedom every day. You have to do it collectively. Without that, you've got nothing. And that's why I'm giving up. That's why a lot of us have given up. Because it takes this 1%, it takes someone already well known to keep things to really happen. And then hopefully money doesn't stop them. Because in the end, they always quit. They always stop. You got to keep going. Don't stop. And it's for your kids' future. And your kids should be better than you. Stop going, I'm the adult, I should have always been the smart one. Thinking like that always keeps the society back. Because you want to be the top. That's not the idea of the life. Every generation is meant to upgrade. They're meant to be better. If they're not at least the same, why is there a reason why they're not? Because you failed or they went through some tragedy in life. If not, they should be better because we learn more and we can teach it better. So that way, your sibling, when he's your age, should be smarter than you. That means you succeeded. It should make you feel good, not feel like shit. But you feel like shit because everyone around you would say, your kid's better than you. And certain words to make you feel like shit, that's the devil. Right? And like they say, and I say, God will only help the ones that help themselves. And sometimes the test is for years. Look at me, I've been going for 3 years or so, full on. And ever since I started, it was like a test. I don't know yet exactly where it's coming from, or it's the people themselves, because the people like to step in and play God and screw around with people. And that's what makes things harder. And I hope the next big outcome, if God needs to step in, when God comes to step in, you're going to save us, God, save us. And you're all getting that bad, and you did it back in history. What does he do? You're not going to like how he steps in. He pretty much does what you guys say to try to show you how does it feel and why do you do that. And he has to come in and wipe you out to a small number. He loves you. He's not going to get rid of you. A lot of you's going to die, and a lot of you shouldn't. You only just started, but it was just a timing. Right? In the wrong area at the wrong time, as they say. It's sad, isn't it? But collectively, you did it. Right? Species that go do things collectively and hang around collectively die collectively. They all fly over there and make the wrong choice. Well, they all die together. It's collective. When you're a collective, you got to make sure that you're all doing the right thing, because it's like the weakest link. If you got a weak link, a weak country, a country not doing the right thing, it's going to allow other people to go, well, I want to do that thing. No, it's a bad example. We have all these countries that are a bad example to our kids. And if you don't see it, it's because you become it. Some people don't see that they swear too much. Fuck this, fuck that, fuck. It becomes a habit. You know, you swear all the time. Like, do I? Fuck, I didn't fucking notice that. Fuck. You see? And I love to share information. But the worst thing is when people try to take the information and don't let you know nothing, and then try to use what you use, even though you're not putting out all the information. You got to be careful about using my information. If you don't fill in the gaps properly, it can go the totally opposite way. It's like a GPS on a plane. If you were to start 1 degree off, in the end of that travel, you're going to be way over here and not here. And that's because you were trying to do things yourself. Trying to go, well, I'm going to take that, and then pretend that I just come up with it myself and it was me, and I'm going to truck on, I'm going to be that. Oh, here, they want to be that, and that's good wisdom. I'm going to use some of that good wisdom, but I can be it better and add on to it. Well, if you can, do it. But you shouldn't steal things, because if you're wrong, that person's going to be pissed. And people will see what you're doing to these people, or that person. You should always work with people. If you hear good advice, you go, good. That's good. And if you want to talk about it, you say, this is blah, 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 out of the chapter of rah, rah, rah. We all do it. Right? That's why I don't talk about too much. You know why I don't talk about a lot of subjects as well? Unless I feel like it, go, fuck it, I better do it. Because they say you got to say it yourself. Because what's sharing? I get the information, I share it up, there you go. It just saves me doing it. Look, someone's already done it professionally and everything. Why do it again? Certain things. So I put that up. But people who use that as, he's stealing information. I use it saving fucking time, because life's about time, isn't it? The less time you can save in bullshit, the more time you get to live. The less we don't have to keep giving people schismatics, and because they know what you're thinking, we're all the same, the more we can move on to other things that we can think about. It's called higher speaking, higher thinking. You don't have to speak so much. If people are going blah, 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 and you hear all these people talking to get something done, and there's a lot of talking, it's because they don't know each other yet, you see? They should be able to just work together like a soup coming together. The camera's playing up a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you get me point about God and these rules, and they're all the same. In the end, the story is the same that we know of. When religion was created, if you have a look at lines, and everyone's trying to work it out, but everyone wants to backstab everyone, is why we don't get the ultimate answer too, because they go, no, it's my answer, no, it's my answer. And because of that, you don't get an answer, you see, because they all believe they've got the right one, even though you can talk about it and say that they're wrong. But no, I'm not wrong, I've got the badge. I'm not wrong. My life's succeeding, yours isn't. I'm going to use that part of the Bible. You must be shit then. Hang on, well, there's another part of the Bible that says that you're not meant to have great things, that God made things pretty basic. What was the cup of life? It was a basic one. Oh, but they say you should be cherished. Well, you should. But how did you first get cherished? How did you first think before they knew you? Did you think, oh, I've got to have all this? You know what? I believe, and I said it in a clip, because people think like that, to get people's attention, you have to do that too. And it's a big trap circle you get into. And now I've stopped saying certain things that could have easily been said and done and shown, because I don't have a better camera and I don't have all the things to show properly yet. As I talked about in the clip, if you build it, they will come. If they see They can change, right? And so I've got to delay myself, and it's just poor old me. What I'm doing, I could have done, and if I come up, all I need to do was come up with a sticky substance, and we all would have done that. I would have figured out something, melted down wax, figured out something. But I would have been making things just from nothing, because that's how it started. To restart, and I'm going to go further backwards. When you start by yourself, you've got to go right back. It's like starting school again, isn't it? Got to go back to where you failed at. Right? And I need to learn myself while I was thinking about it, went through it. And went, hey, what am I going to do walking around outside? How am I going to show things? I've got nothing, got no money. God says you don't need money. Everyone else says you do. God says money will come to you. If you don't have it, then it won't, because they say, why don't you have it yet? You see how people have got their priorities wrong and things wrong? Because of that, and it's all mixed up and it's everywhere, it gets nowhere. And I'm out there thinking, I'm walking around, and I look at the ground, and I see a colourful rock, a black one, different one. I'm going, hang on. They're all just plain and boring. This one's got a crack and line in it. Hang on, what if I clean them up? Can I get them to stay their wet look? They look beautiful when they're wet. I could use these like crystals. I know it's just rubbish, but they look good. It's like a painting. I can use this material. We can use anything out there. It depends on what you think is nice. See, here's the way to see a sin. To find out who's a sinner and who has the deepest sin is someone who likes materials. Right? Because the sin started because they wanted better, even though did they deserve it or was it right to do it? When it comes to the story of Adam and Eve and the snake come in, that snake and they run around naked. That's a dude with a bigger dick. No shit. She's having a laugh now. So you go back, so you have a look at the story. You go back, we were naked. And there was white man's naked, planted, because this is in one story. Pretty much we were planted like this. So whatever turned up, it turned up. And you can see these lines, and there's other scientists that talk about these stories, how it's like a ship turned up and went, you go there, plonk, you're a different species, you're slightly different. Experiment, you go there, plonk, you go there, plonk. Now we're going to tell you all the same, similar, how to get along and what you should do and teach them a little bit, right? And do that to all of them, and you'll see they're all different. It's like twins, when they did experiment on twins, and how if they got different lives, they become completely different, including their skin and evolution and everything. Right? And so if you were in the jungle, a lot of trees, you'd squint, you'd keep your eyes because you need to look. And over constant squinting, you would become like a Chinese person. So perhaps Chinese have got squinty eyes, if you look at evolution, because of the environment they're in. Black people were in the desert a lot, exposed to the sun. And so and we look up with this with science, the body will change and pigment, so you don't sunburn as bad as they say. Black people don't sunburn as bad. Right? It's just, it shows you all the evidence there. And what happened is, and we're all different. So this dude's a smaller dude, so he comes with a smaller whatever. This dude here's over here, he's got a bigger thing. He even's got a bigger nose, bigger ear. We're all different, right? And then, but we're spread out. And then we started little colonies too. So it wasn't just Adam and Eve when these people got together. It could have been. We'll go that it is, but we'll also go as their colonies. Could have been a couple hundred as they come together. And what happens is that they didn't get along because when humans see things differently, they're going, oh, that's different. And humans do like things that are different. You're different. Oh, I want you. Right? And then you end up having fights because you had partners stealing other people's partners and stuff like that. So you had the bigger dude coming in with the bigger junk, swinging around. It may even start chucking out, shit, why isn't your junk big? Right? And caused chaos. And what caused it is the women took it. It's the woman. Right? When it comes to the man could have done the same thing. But the thing is, with the man, a woman can adapt to anything. That's their gift. We all get ways we can have things down, things that are bad and things that are good. And with women, when it comes to sex, they can adapt. They've got that ability. So you can't ever bag a woman because if it doesn't fit, she'll stretch to fit. You see? So a woman can go, ha, 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 I can take anything, which they can. And they do. For love, too. Because the more they got to stretch, like having a baby, women go, fucking stretch my fanny, you cut it open. And once it does that, you're now bigger. It'll be now easier, too, as the body adapts. But when it comes to the sexual pleasures, and now it might be more stretched for that small thing, it might not be as good. Life. But to keep up the sexual pleasures, you can always bring in something else. Power of the mind, what makes us human and different to all the rest. But if you don't want to bring up the power of the mind and you want to go, no, I need to run off to another thing that has it already, then you do that. That's an animal instinct. That's why birds always change. They just want, what they see. And that's why women constantly sin. Back to what I was talking about. When it comes to objects, you look all the time. What does a woman want? What do we hear that makes a woman happy? Oh, big diamond ring. Well, they don't look that cool. Like this Rocky can look just as pretty and nice and see-through. In some cases, you don't even know the difference unless you look at it through a little thing, right? Someone tells you. And women like it because of the ching, and they know that ching is power. And so that means that they like power, whoever does that. And then you give them the diamond ring, and then what does that mean? Oh, you should be satisfied now. Every time you're down or any problem you need, just look at your diamond ring, right? That's what you got it for. Or go sell it to solve your problems. Right? But a man wants something that's real. You go, yeah, diamond ring, but I ain't going to fucking pay all that. I can go get a car. I can get a man cave. I can go do this and have all this fun and still have a ring that looks like that one. Right? Doesn't have the brand name, but they want the brand name. You see? So what species do you see that always wants that? And they're the most greediest ones. They're the biggest sinners. And then those people can talk to other people and tell them they're going to be like that too, because they are. Oh, look at him over there. He's so disgusting. Yeah, don't you think, Marie? Oh, yes, he's so disgusting. How about you, Rabbit? Yeah, he is. Yeah. Oh, yes. Get away from me. I'm better than you to the eyes of God. 'Cause look at me and look at you. You're just an activist. Yes. No, you're the sinner. You're the person trying to play God. You ain't God. You're in a position that was probably given to you, but doesn't mean you won't lose it from the things you say and do. So you better be careful. Activists. You take this money away from these people, and we know the truth. Let's have a show where you don't stick out stars, right, and put them in a little fancy camp, go for real, should stick them out like naked and afraid. They wouldn't handle it. So you don't have the show because they couldn't handle it. We need a show where it looks like we can handle it, but we really don't. It's la-di-da and princess behind the scenes. And stick these people out in the real bush, in the real life, with no money. And then see, what they got to say. All you'll hear them do is bitch and moan and probably die within that kilometre radius or get lost walking. Pathetic. So who's pathetic now? Only thing that made you great was the money, and that money allowed you to make everyone else make you look great. And if you can't live on the basics, get out of the basics, then what was wrong with you? Oh, hang on. It's because you had money, you see. You don't need to learn. That's why some of these richest people could be the dumbest in the end. They might know a lot because they run around and talk a lot of shit. But they don't really know. And they do the stupidest moves. And they don't know the basics. Why won't they learn the basics? I want to see rich people go, yeah, you can chuck me anywhere, man. We're great. That's why we're rich. Good. That'll be a good one. And if we had those type of people, we might even have a better planet. But we don't. You get these people getting la-di-da and la-di-da, and that's because they're born with it too. Makes it even worse. But anyway, enough of all that. Enough of depression things. Enough about talking about the human race. You know what I believe? If God come down next, he asks us, either we should wipe ourselves out, but hopefully not using nukes. I hated that we got nukes. Because if they weren't around, right, we could say we can at least bomb each other, make a little bit of damage. I hated that we even got bombs. Guns as far as we should have went, really, to keep ourselves in line. But we got more pussier and pussier and using excuses like, well, I don't want my family to die. Well, why didn't you make the right choices in the first place and not even get to there? How's that one, you dickhead? But they never want to hear about that. Don't say that. Lock him up. I've got the badge. Have a good one and see you later.